On today's show, we're going to make chicken meatballs and orzo pasta.
Mouth-watering family recipes, easy-to-make meals, humor and faith fill the inspiring show Dano on the Counter. Born with only half a spine, Dano Burkhardt was never supposed to be able to hold his head up. Despite countless surgeries, a stroke, leg amputations, and kidney transplants, Dano developed a contagious love for life. Join Dano as he shares his easy-to-make dishes and the hope that keeps him pushing forward.
For the chicken meatballs and orzo pasta, for the meatballs, you're going to need 1 pound of ground chicken, half cup of breadcrumbs, half cup of Parmesan cheese, a quarter cup of milk, 1 egg, 1 teaspoon of Italian seasoning, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of minced garlic, a half teaspoon of onion powder, and a quarter teaspoon of black pepper. For the orzo pasta, you're going to need 2 cloves of garlic, 2.5 cups of chicken broth, 1.5 cups of pasta, 2/3 cup of cream, a quarter cup of Parmesan cheese, and a half teaspoon of salt. As you know, this very serious situation that's going on over in Israel, very heart-wrenching on what's going on and the atrocities that are happening to the Jewish people over there in Israel. My heart goes out to them. I can't imagine dealing with that and having family members killed in front of you or kidnapped. Lately there has been some ceasefires and things like that where people are being let go and prisoner exchanges and hostages being released. We got to continue to pray for them, continue for all the innocent lives on both sides that are being affected by that. My encouragement to everybody is to continue to pray for those people, continue for the leaders on both sides, that they'll be able to come to an agreement there and peace in the whole region. And not just there, everywhere around the world. Sometimes in our lives we get so involved in our own personal lives that we don't really pay any attention to what's going on to others around us. And it doesn't have to be even in another country, but lift up your neighbors in prayer. Lift up your boss, lift up people that you run into and just meet them for the first time. You just never know what the struggles people are going through. And I know it may not be something as serious as war, obviously, but we all have struggles in our daily lives, and we're all going through things, and we know how powerful God can be in those situations. So we're called to pray for our brothers and sisters, and I can admit that I'm not the best at it. I forget to do that as well. But let's hope for the new year that we're able to remember others first, and not so much worry about the things that we need and the things that we want, but also remembering those around us and what they may need and what they're going through. So I hope that encourages a little bit today. Now that we are getting our groceries, we're going to cook an awesome meal, but just remember to lift others up in prayer as well. Hey y'all, on today's show we're going to make a chicken meatball with a creamy Parmesan garlic sauce over orzo pasta. So to begin with, we're going to grab our breadcrumbs to make our meatballs, then we'll head over and grab some chicken. All right, first ingredient, just some breadcrumbs. Just want the plain ones. You don't need Italian or anything like that. You're only going to need about a cup of them. So one small container is all you're going to need. All right, to make our chicken meatballs, obviously we need ground chicken. Then combined with our egg and our breadcrumbs and our seasonings. So just 1 pound is good. It's going to make us probably about 8 or 9 meatballs, enough for one family. You're going to have enough pasta, so a couple of meatballs per person. If you want to double it, you can, of course, but 1 pound ground chicken. All right, for our orzo pasta, obviously you're going to need a box of orzo, just about a cup to put in there. At the very end, we're going to simmer the meatballs in the sauce with the orzo itself, let it all cook together. So 1 small box. This was hard to find for a little while, but now it's back on the shelf. You could substitute really any pasta you want with that. Egg noodle would be great with this, even rigatoni or something like that, to soak up some of that sauce. But we'll go with orzo. So orzo it is. We'll throw it in the cart, and then we'll head over and grab some chicken stock. All right, to cook all this together, to let it simmer, the pasta and the meatball, we're going to use chicken broth, just about 1.5 cups, maybe 2 cups chicken broth, and then we're going to finish it then with some Parmesan cheese and heavy cream. A couple other ingredients that we're not going to buy here at the store because we have them at home is some garlic, Of course, we have butter and we have the cream at home already, so we're not going to buy any more today. But chicken broth we do need, and then we need some Parmesan cheese. We'll grab that, and then we'll be ready to go. All right, the final ingredient that we need for this, obviously we have our cream, and to make our sauce, we're just going to melt some Parmesan cheese in there, throw it all together, let it cook at the pasta, finish off a little bit more on top. That's our last ingredient. We're ready to head to the house and start cooking.
For generations, Dick's Home Care has been providing the best equipment and service for patient care at home. Breathe easier with oxygen from Dick's Home Care. Oxygen concentrators give you a continuous oxygen supply at home. Oxygen cylinders supply oxygen without power. And portable oxygen frees you to go. Dick's Home Care technicians will set your oxygen up and make sure you know how to use it. Call the leader in home medical equipment, Dick's Home Care.
Made by Vogel is a father and son business that produces high-quality handmade wooden products such as cutting boards, bowls, bottle stoppers, and more. Products for sale can be found on their Etsy site or in downtown Altoona at the Clay Cup. You can't go wrong buying from Made by Vogel.
Hey y'all, welcome into the kitchen today. Today we're gonna make a chicken meatball with an orzo pasta and a creamy Parmesan and garlic sauce. So this is two-step process. First thing you gotta do is we gotta make our meatballs. Of course, we're using ground chicken breast here that we bought at the store, about a pound of ground chicken. And I put in here a tablespoon of minced garlic already. And then our other ingredients that we're gonna put in there to make our meatball is some onion powder. It's about a teaspoon. We have some Italian seasoning. Add that in there. Of course, have our breadcrumbs, about a half a cup of just plain breadcrumbs that we picked up at the store. We didn't use Italian breadcrumbs because we used the Italian seasoning. You could swap them out if you wanted to. We have a little bit of salt, just a pinch, just about a teaspoon of salt. And then we have some milk, just about a quarter cup of milk. And then we have a half a cup of Parmesan cheese. And then 1 egg. So this is the test. How do we do this? Because now we mixed everything, we can't have a shell in there, because that'll ruin somebody's meatball. So we'll go ahead and break this open here and hope I did it right. And no shell, no shell, no shell, and no shell. All right, we did it. And it doesn't matter if your hands are messy at this point, because they're about to get really messy now. So we're gonna mix all this together. The key to when you're making any meatball, chicken or beef or pork or veal or whatever you're making, is to not over mix that. You just want to make sure that when somebody bites into a meatball, they don't just get a mouthful of breadcrumbs. They get all the flavor, because it's a chicken meatball, it's not a stuffing ball. So we just want to make sure that we have all these ingredients, all these seasonings mixed well together, but they're not overdone. I have our saucepan here already heated up over medium heat. We're just going to toss this together a couple times, just so you don't see any like big areas of breadcrumb, because that would be gross. But I think this looks pretty good here. And then we're just gonna make like about an inch and a half size meatballs here. Just gonna fold this all in, and we'll roll these out. You're gonna get real messy. It's fine. Don't have to be perfect, because we're gonna eat them anyways. And then just drop them in our pan. And then we're just gonna saute these off, because we're actually gonna cook them with our pasta. So we're not gonna actually cook them all the way through. We're just gonna saute and brown them in the pan. Just kind of brown them all on each side. I'll make a few here. And these are pretty light, pretty good. You could probably eat a dozen of them yourself if you wanted to. Not a whole lot of fat, just that egg in there. but they're gonna taste pretty good. I'm making a mess of myself, but if you watch any of my episodes, you know by the time I'm done with anything that I make, this house is a mess and I myself am a complete mess. So we'll just roll these up. Oh, golf ball size. They look pretty good. And this should make probably, about a dozen of them. And while that one side's cooking, you're just doing these, and then you'll turn them over on each side, brown them up. Do a couple more here. But you could do these for a party if you wanted to. Put them in the crock pot with the pasta. Take them somewhere. They'd be really good. People would be like, oh wow, you took all the time to make all these. Well, you know, really didn't take that much time at all. So. And you can do this with any, you can put these in like Alfredo sauce. If you wanted to cheat and not make the whole extra pasta dish, you can just pour some Alfredo sauce over these. That would be awesome. Alright, so we have our chicken meatballs here already browned up here. We're just gonna add our chicken broth to this. Cool that pan down a little bit. Now that's about 2.5 cups. We're gonna add to that our pasta. We're gonna stir this all together. And then we're just gonna cover this, bring this to a simmer, and let it cook probably about 15 minutes until that pasta is done. It's gonna absorb all that flavor in there. And then to make the actual cream sauce, we're just gonna add the garlic, the cream, and the Parmesan. And that's pretty much it. It's a pretty easy meal to put together. So we'll let this go up to a simmer, and we'll cook that pasta, and we'll let it cook for about, like I said, 10 to 15 minutes, probably right in the middle there, about 12. We should be good to go. The only other thing to do is just add a little bit more garlic. We have about a tablespoon of garlic there that we're just going to throw in there for a little bit of flavor as well. So we got chicken and garlic, and then we'll make our cream sauce once the pasta is cooked. But we just want to make sure this all cooks the chicken all the way through. We don't want anybody getting sick eating raw chicken. So we'll turn this up and let it simmer. Alright, so we have our meatballs here. Our pasta is cooked. Now we're just going to add our heavy cream to this and make our cheese sauce for this. So we have about a 1/2 cup of heavy cream. We're just going to throw in there. Looks delicious. And then about a 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese. We'll throw on there. And then we're just going to stir this all up. Once that cheese melts and that cream and everything gets all incorporated, we'll throw a little salt and pepper on top. We'll be ready to eat. I mean, this, I wish y'all could smell this. This does smell amazing. I know here in the house it smells awesome. But that Parmesan will melt and thicken this all up. And that'll be the cream sauce for our chicken meatballs. And you can do the meatballs, like I said, ahead of time. You can do the meatballs in a different sauce if you'd like. With that Parmesan, it's almost like the Alfredo that we've done before. But we're just gonna thicken this up. Make sure that cheese and cream and all there. You can see how that's really starting to thicken up in there. It's got that garlic in there, and then there's Italian seasonings from the chicken. Chicken's cooked all the way through. Looks pretty darn good to me. I'm excited about trying it. I know the guys here in the house, they're ready to try it. So we are gonna let this cook just for another minute. While this cooks, we're gonna head over to the studio for a little inspirational message. That's something the Lord has laid on my heart to share with you today. And then we'll come back and we'll try these meatballs.
For generations, Dick's Home Care has been providing the best equipment and service for patient care at home. Stay in your home without worry with Bruno mobility products from Dick's Home Care. Bruno has the highest rated stair lift of any brand. They're American-made quality stair lifts and are expertly installed in less than a day. Keep your loved one at home and safe from falls on the stairs with a Bruno stair lift. Call the leader in home medical equipment, Dick's Home Care.
Impact Productions, a multi-layer technology company providing on-site, online, and in-studio video services. Contact Impact Productions to capture your story.
For generations, Dick's Home Care has been providing the best equipment and service for patient care at home. Disabled? Lead an active life with a wheelchair from Dick's Home Care. Your wheelchair will be properly fitted to you for your comfort. Choose from Dick's full line of mobility products, including manual wheelchairs, custom manual, power wheelchairs, and scooters for both adults and children. Call the leader in home medical equipment, Dick's Home Care.
Hey y'all, welcome into the studio today. Today I got my buddy Martin Garrett with me today from Easter for Eli. My first guest ever here on the show. He has this nonprofit. Martin, tell us about Easter for Eli and how it got started.
Well, Easter for Eli, my son Eli was diagnosed with T-cell non-Hodgkin's lymphoma at 2 years old. He fought cancer for 2 years. We spent both Easters as he was fighting cancer in the hospital, and my aunt and a couple co-workers would bring him Easter baskets those 2 years. Like 30 baskets, I think, the 1 year, and 40 they made all of them up, and he had plenty of stuff in his room, as you would know that spending a lot of time in the hospital, everyone brought stuff, and our room was full of gifts. So I let him pick a few items out, and then we'd take the wagon and deliver them all the extra baskets to the child life department, and those extra baskets would go to all the other children in the hospital. Eli passed away just 10 days before his 4th birthday. So my aunt and the coworkers wanted to continue to make baskets. And I still delivered a small amount, 30 or 40 baskets, for 3 years to Children's Hospital. That group all separated, and they didn't make any baskets in 2014. In 2015, I decided to make a Facebook page, Easter for Eli, and I had a goal. I thought it was absolutely crazy, but we set goals high of 319 baskets, which was 100% of Children's Hospital in Pittsburgh. That's their total beds.
Yeah.
Within a week or two, we had 300 baskets. Another couple weeks, we had 500, and by the time I was ready to deliver for Easter, we had 1,000 baskets that very first year.
Wow.
And so I had started reaching out to several other hospitals. I had a family friend that had won his battle with cancer at Danville. So him and his family had wanted to help deliver to Danville, Caden Eastep. So we added Danville to our hospitals. Hershey was another hospital, and Philly Shriners Hospital.
Yeah.
We wanted to do a Shriners Hospital, as I am a Shriner as well. So those were our first 4 areas to deliver to. And so the second year I started a goal of 1,000 baskets.
Wow.
And we ended up with 2,000, and we've continued to grow even throughout the COVID years where we weren't able to deliver to hospitals at all. Right. We did gas cards, and today we are sitting with a 10,000 basket goal.
Wow.
Unbelievable. We now deliver to 54 children's hospitals. We are in as many as 21 states so far, and we have delivered 68,000 baskets in the last 9 years, over $66,000 in Sheets, iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, Wawa cards for the families and children.
Yeah.
They're in the hospital as well.
I can tell you, as being somebody that spent a lot of time in the hospital, and being a kid that spent Easter in the hall, and in the hospital, and you miss out. You're a young kid. You're not able to, wake up and go get your Easter basket, But here, you're delivering them to the kids, and they get to share in the holiday in the hospital. A little bit at home in the hospital. Of course, you don't want any kid to be in the hospital over the holiday, but this does bring a little bit of joy and excitement to their day to make them maybe not think about what they're going through just for that small moment. What a great thing that you've started. And how it's grown, it's really unbelievable. Really, it really is. And so my friends that are out there watching, they want to get involved or they want to do something similar to this. How do they get in touch with Easter for Eli? How do they, donate baskets or monetary gifts? How do they do all that?
Our biggest social media area is Facebook. We have Facebook, Instagram, Easter for Eli on both of those. EasterforEli.com is our website. And we do Venmo, PayPal donations. I mean, we would love to branch out. Our big goal, like we were talking earlier, is to fill this whole country with a little bit of Eli's joy. And I have what I call Team Easter for Eli, all our reps. We had 13 states covered with small reps that have picked up our Facebook page or been from our hometown, or complete strangers that have delivered thousands of baskets with Eli's name on them to their local children's hospital. I mean, as far as Oregon, Manitoba, Canada, all four corners of the United States, Florida, California, Maine. We have a large rep in Maine right now. Her and her family has delivered 250 baskets last year for her very first year, and hoping to double that this year and get Maine covered with Eli's joy as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know at Dick's Home Care, we're going to be a drop-off location that, if you're around one of the 8 locations that we have, you could drop off the baskets there. If you want to drop off some toys and things like that for the baskets, they can do that as well.
Yeah. Our drop-off flyers drop-off location flyers will be posted within this week. I have over 62 locations covering Pennsylvania into Maryland, where people can either pick up empty bucket and a bag. Even we're offering the buckets and the bags for the build if people want. Fill these baskets up. Only thing we ask for is all new items.
Right.
As well, non-perishable, no food. Unfortunately, these are non-food, no candy Easter baskets.
Right.
We don't know what the children's dietary restrictions are, and we don't want them to get a basket of something that they can't have and make it even worse. But no food, no candy, all new items, wrapped in a clear bag. And we would like for the basket to be labeled some sort of way whenever we get it with a age range. It doesn't have to be specific and perfect. Just like a 4-year age range, 8 to 12, 13 to 18, 0 to 3 boy. It just helps us. We can label it, and it helps the staff when they're handing it out. When I give a hospital 500 baskets and they're coming in to look for a 0 to 4 boy, it helps them be able to grab a basket instead of going through it and picking it apart.
I just think it's awesome that what you're doing here, carrying on Eli's legacy here, doing something for somebody else. I think that's one thing that we can all relate to, especially around every holiday, that we want to help others as much as we can. We talk about that a lot on the show here, about how you can inspire others to do things and get involved. And this is a great way to, after the holiday of Christmas and everything, now you're into Easter. Let's carry that on now, that sense of giving, and help somebody else maybe that's going through a tough time. I think that's an awesome ministry. That's an awesome thing that you can share joy that Eli had and that your family shared. And now that you're doing it with, thousands of other people, hopefully across the whole United States eventually, and that's a great goal to have. And hopefully the people watching will be able to get involved in that as well.
Yeah, it's, as being a parent in the hospital, it's, you don't want to leave your child's bedside.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of stress having a child in the hospital. But when you got a holiday coming up and you got to see your child in that hospital and you want to provide them with Christmas, or you're out of work and, money's low. And like I said, you don't want to leave your child's bed to build an Easter basket for them. So, for the children, it's for the whole family, the parents, the children, everybody, when we provide one of these baskets, because it alleviates a lot of stress. I get thank yous, letters written from parents that either didn't have the money or didn't have the time and didn't want to leave their child's side to go build a basket. So we look at that as well. Another thing is awareness to families, to people that had I not had a child in the hospital, I wouldn't even known. But across the United States alone, we're probably looking at there's 10,000 children's hospitals across the United States, and we're looking at probably like 1 million children will be in the hospital on Easter Sunday across the United States. So it's kind of like an awareness. We don't think of it if we're not directly involved.
Right.
We don't have a child or a loved one in the hospital. We don't know, and we don't think about it because we're focusing at home, obviously. But a couple Easter baskets will go a long way to help us fill this United States and these children's beds with Eli's joy.
That's awesome, buddy. Well, I appreciate you coming on here. I hope everybody at home here get on the website, find Martin here. Get on EasterforEli.com. We'll send a link out as well when we post this online. But hopefully everybody gets involved, and we'll be able to share a little bit more joy this Easter to the kids in the hospital. I thank you so much, Martin, for coming in.
I appreciate you having me. I mean, it's a blessing. And like I said, I thank God that we can continue to grow and help more children every year with help like yours.
That's awesome, buddy.
Yep.
Hey, we're going to head back over to the dining room and enjoy some nice food, and we'll see you over there. Hey, welcome into the dining room. Today we have our chicken meatball and our orzo and Parmesan pasta. So we are gonna dive in. We got the crew here. Let's check it out, guys. Let me know what you think here. Let's try this chicken meatball. Pretty good. Really taste that Parmesan in it.
Yeah, definitely Parmesan. Really?
Yeah.
I've never had a chicken meatball. This is really cool. Pretty good.
I like the pasta too. I don't think I've ever had that.
Almost like a rice, but
Very good.
yeah. I'd make that. Meatballs actually by itself, I think, would be good. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, watching Dano on the Counter. Hopefully you're able to try this recipe for yourself. Let me know what you think. Hit up the website, send me an email, let me know. Hopefully you guys are able to try to make this dish for your family and enjoy it as much as we do. And thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time on Dano on the Counter.